Welcome. Hi, welcome to Bajerski YouTube channel. It's a beautiful day today. It's been a lovely morning actually, and I'm looking forward to a great day. Today we're going to talk about one of my top 3 crystals that I've always considered to be a blessing in my life. Not only these past 2 years, but for the couple of decades I've worked with clients and appreciated the power of this crystal. Not many people really know about this crystal. I've not seen that many people talk about it, many healers, not really seen them grasp the energy from this crystal. And it's funny, I met somebody from Pune actually the other day, and the energy of being proud of this crystal is phenomenal. You can actually see and feel, even though this person wasn't per se a practitioner, but they knew the power of this crystal. And I would say that the reason why this crystal is in Pune is because the area itself, there's through history, I think the more I learn about it, the more I realize we need to forgive, and it is the crystal of forgiveness, in my humble opinion. And I have worked with a lot of crystals in my time. The reason why I made a video once about the top 3 crystals in the world is because, well, first of all, I wanted people to realize that they are the most powerful crystal in the world. That's number one. But there are certain energies within crystals that Mother Earth gave the earth to heal and to help raise the vibration of us. It is incredible. I mean, if you think about it, when you walk on Mother Earth, she gives you healing, okay? So she gives you healing through her roots, through whatever is in there with minerals and all of these amazing energetic frequencies that is definitely within the soil and beneath. And how far we go is anybody's guess to the power of what is underneath our earth. It's a fascinating subject when you get into it, but you realize that there's certain parts in the world, Brazil, America, different parts of the world, of this globe of ours, that has a certain frequency because of Mother Earth need to grow a certain frequency. So when you're walking on that frequency, it heals you from certain, let's say, antenna distortions that we go through. So today we're going to talk about one of my favorite crystals of all times. And I did make a promise to you all that in these next coming 30 days, I would talk about crystals and show you my small collections of crystals, whether it's on my website or whether it's my personal collection. I'm glad to be here this morning. I'm feeling great. I'm working very hard. I'm on the detox cleanse, so I'm a little bit more slower and not as fast and as excited because my body's cleansing. So let me introduce you to one of my favorite crystals. Say hello to the most amazing and rare crystal. Every day they're becoming more and more rare. Say hello to Cavansite. Okay, so what you're looking at here is a small collection, very beautiful collection and very, very rare collection. Of course, the center of this board are the most desired Cavansite, the blue. And if you look on this side, you have the Cavansite in Motherstone, and on this side they've been polished, as you can see. And on this side they've been just dug and mounted. So grab one here. You can see the Cavansite blue left just as it is and mounted gorgeous. So beautiful. Here's a bigger piece in there and show you the back. So you can see that's how it's been dug out. Now these beauties here are exquisite. Hard to see, but exquisite. The blue is phenomenal. How Mother Earth can bring out such vibrant colour. But it isn't just the vibrant colour that we're looking at today. We're looking at the power and the energy of the frequency that it blasts out on moment to moment. And I feel that while I'm here right now, and maybe I'm a lot calmer because I'm wearing a piece. I love the little, can you see that? How it's just not quite perfect because Mother Earth has just created that little, what you might see as a blemish, I see as a gift. And I just think that's gorgeous. A lot of people want it so perfect, but me, I like it either on its mother stone or just slightly, you know, can you just see the edge of there? That beautiful piece of mother stone just at the edge, you know, it's just great. This is what's called a AAA. This is grade, at the highest grade you can get. It's mint, it's perfect. Okay, so that's how people grade them. For me, I like them in all its shape. Mother stone or no mother stone, it's all beautiful. So I'm wearing a piece today. I hope you enjoyed that little collection. Here's my piece that I'm wearing today. So just give me a second. Let there be light. I think there's a little bit more light there, maybe. So yeah, let me see if we can see that again. Maybe you couldn't see because there wasn't that much light coming in. So let's have one more look again. Maybe you can see a little bit better now. Oh, look! Chokadoobie! Gorgeous. Okay, enough of that. Is your mouth watering? Give me them now! So, what have I witnessed in the time of being a practitioner with my clients? I've witnessed healing taking place on so many levels. One of the most profound moments, I guess, was with a beautiful lady who was called Maria. And Maria was subjected to abuse by an abuser who she married and loved with all her heart. And that abuse was constant. So it would be flowers, a punch, a slap, emotional attack, and then flowers or chocolates and so on and so on. Basically feeding the abuser, and then the abuser feeling bad and gifting. There is a psychopathic tendency in abuse as well. So I'm not really into that, but what I do see when I see this abuse is the forgiveness. But you have to understand that forgiveness is a very complex situation, and we have to try and eliminate we have to try and separate two aspects of forgiveness. So what I used to say is, my dad used to abuse me a lot, and I came to forgive him, but not his actions. So we have to learn to forgive, but you're not forgiving what they did, but you're forgiving the person because of who they are and why they are the way they are. And that's always a challenge, but naturally, eventually, I think when our moment comes, we become more awakened and more aware to that fact. because we realize that we can't hold on to the suffering, whether it's our own suffering because of what we feel we did in the relationship. So we kind of blame ourselves and we try and fix things so the abuse continues. And then there comes a day when the penny drops, and that moment when you say, actually, I'm not doing this. It's not me. This is happening because of this person. So we learn to separate that we feel that we need to fix and we're part of the problem. What am I doing to cause this problem? When we learn to separate that and say, actually, this has got nothing to do with me. It's got nothing to do with my reactions. This is to do with this person. So there comes a point where we realize that we cannot continue on this path anymore. This isn't working. I'm not helping the person that I love who abuses me every day. And maybe there's something in this that maybe just maybe that this was my journey, this was my path, this was my I call experience, but people say, I didn't come in this world to experience that. This is a load of rubbish. And actually we did come in, and that's why a lot of the times when we don't learn to really break free from it, it keeps coming back into our life time and time again. What I saw with Cavansite was something so profound that it helped with the awakening or the divine moment. So whether it was by accident or whether it stimulated certain frequencies, whether it cleansed and cleared certain frequencies, certain energetic blocks or traumas, or whatever it did, what I found that it released some kind of energy within my clients that then allowed them to move forward from abuse, or move forward from, say, your family relationship, move forward from partnerships, if you're in business, move forward from work environment, and where abuse takes place. So I found this to be fascinating. So I gifted many 100 of Cavansite away to people who were in an abusive experience at that time of their life, and I saw miracles happening. Sometimes instantly, and sometimes it took a little bit of time, but it always worked, and they always held or wore a Cavansite. And there is something about growing stronger in a sense of awakening to what you need to do on your path. And ultimately, this is about forgiveness, because when you are always in the energy of why, fear, anger, bitterness, all of those feelings for what's happening around you, what people are trying to abuse you and hurt you and use you as an emotional punch bag, eventually you become, the penny drops. And I think that that's where this crystal is above any other crystal when it comes to forgiveness. That's my understanding as a healer. So what is Cavansite? Cavansite to me is an opener, a cleanser, a clearer, and a strengthener of three main power points. The first one is the throat chakra, speak your truth. The second is your third eye, see the truth. And the third is the crown chakra, allowing in new energy. If you can cleanse, clear, and strengthen those three parts, you'll find that any situation that you're in, whether you're feeling terrible or you've been abused or you feel weak or worried because of a certain action of other people, or even your own actions that you regret, you'll find that Cavansite starts to change your frequency, so you're able to let go and forgive either others or yourself. Ultimately, by forgiving yourself, that is probably one of the strongest things you can do. But there is definitely something in forgiving others as well as yourself. A combination is a brilliant, brilliant way to move forward. So I forgave my dad and I forgave me, and I moved forward, and it was the most powerful moment of my life. Cavansite has this energy, unlike any other crystal, that allows this awakening, this release, this inner strength, this power that helps us. So what part of the Cavansite works? Is it the mother stone? Is it the white? Is it the brown? Is it the blue? I think if you want ultimate power from forgiveness, I think the blue is that what really is the forgiving, the opening and the clearing. The mother stone for me is a very, very strong foundational stone. It is the one that keeps us from not feeling any other feeling than that I've made the right decision. So I like wearing two types of Moldavite. Why do I keep saying Moldavite? Cavansite. The reason why is because if I'm ultimately upset that morning with an issue, I'll wear the blue. That is to quickly release and forgive. When I am in general working and thinking about things that people are saying and doing through the day, the week, I'll wear either the polished with Motherstone. So with the polished and Motherstone, you've got the grounding and you've got the purity and the strength that holds everything together. So it feels like more of a balanced way to move forward. If I want to clear something fast, I wear the simple Cavansite as it is, natural form, as I call it the flower. So I wear the flower, the blue flower. So through the day, if there's not such big issues, I will wear a Cavansite like this in its natural stone. Okay, is that gorgeous? Look at that one, see through. Hello. Gorgeous. And if I've had a kind of attack, or I'm really upset because of what somebody's done and said, or what I've done and said, I will wear this beautiful natural form. Cavansite is becoming more and more expensive. It's gone up, I'd say, about 17 to 25% more. This kind has gone up probably 3 times, because there is only one mine in Pune. There's only one place you can get it. So eventually the mine will be closed because there's no more veins, and then it stops. But until then, take the opportunity to buy it at this price, because I would predict that in the next 5 years it will probably increase so much that it will become a very collectible and very rare pendant. That's my prediction. I made that prediction on Moldavite as well many years ago, and so it's come true right now. First time in my 20 years of working as a crystal healer, I have traveled the world. I've been to many shows. One of the shows I went to last week, I say this with my hand on my heart, there was not one piece of Moldavite in the show. That tells you everything. Anyway, getting back to Cavansite, what does Cavansite represent in the energy of spirituality? Well, as I said, it helps with emotions, it helps with release, it helps with letting go. But there is ultimately something else which is fascinating, because it's not all about being abused or you abusing, or it's not about this need to forgive, but it also is a brilliant crystal to balance people and help them become stronger in so many ways. The feeling when you wear Cavansite, for me, and I used to wear it practically, it was always around my neck, with Moldavite, with Tektite, with Herkimer Diamond. It was always one of a group of crystals I always used to work with. It was always in my box. It was always part of my crystal collection. A lot of people feel down, depressed. A lot of people feel anxiety, lost, They feel like they don't know who they are. Why am I here? What is my path, my journey? The feeling of breaking free from those emotions and spreading your wings and feeling that you can fly is one of the things Moldavite does. So it's a great crystal for people who have no confidence. It's a great crystal for children. It's a great crystal for grandmas. I used to work with a lot of clients who were grandmas, and they used to love this crystal. I think I've introduced Cavansite to more people than anybody in this world because I saw the gift of what it did. As a healer, I used to place Cavansite on people's bodies as a crystal healer. So I would often use a Cavansite. And over the years, you start to realize that Cavansite has a great effect on the throat. The throat meaning that most people dare not speak their truth. Cavansite helps you speak your truth. It has a great effect on the third eye. It helps open you up and become more aware of situations. So you become more psychic, you become more intuitive. And the third place where it always worked really well was the crown chakra, and it somehow released and allowed. So what was happening is when I was laying the Cavansite on the top of the head while the client was lying down, I'd hold the Cavansite like this, and I would be working on the back of this. So the head was here, and I'd be working on the head like this, and just gently rotating clockwise, anti-clockwise, and sometimes just holding it there. And you find that you can see the energy of the crown chakra change. There's a shift. So the cloud or the grey starts to clear, and there's more of an illuminating energy, a feeling of power, a feeling of cleansing, and a new kind of vacuum. So vacuum is a great analogy, because I used to do courses and say that, you know, when you clean your vacuum cleaner and you get rid of all the hairs and you dust it off and you then put it back, and then you switch the vacuum cleaner on and it sucks more than ever. Well, Cavansite has that energy of clearing dense, dirty energy around those 3 power points or chakras, to then you can see the energy pouring in, the new energy that is around us at any given moment. So yeah, going back to Maria, she was in a terrible relationship. And I remember the first time I introduced her to Cavensite, and I did a healing session. It was about 1 hour and 45 minutes. She cried all the way through as soon as the Cavensite touched her throat. And as soon as I moved it from the throat, I moved it to a third eye, and from the third eye to the crown chakra. It took 45 minutes. And she left, and she came back, I think, 2 weeks later. And something had happened. She'd changed. She'd looked stronger. And at this point, I gave her a piece of Cavansite to wear. Not the first healing session, because I didn't know how she would react and how she would be the next time I saw her. And it was her choice to come back a couple of weeks later. And she had another 1 hour, 45 minute session. And I just chose the Cavansite again. And this time I remember tying it in, it was a pink, was it pink? Yeah, it was pink. It didn't really match, but it was the only string I had. I didn't really have much money then. And as I was giving her the healing session, I heard a voice saying, put it around her neck. So as I was doing the healing session, I got up and got a piece of string, put this Cavansite on, put it around her neck. I lifted her head up and rested it on her throat while it was there. When she got up, she was, oh. And I said, yeah, that's a gift from Spirit who loves you. I think it was a mother who had brought her there from the spirit world. And I said, you know, I feel a presence of like a mother figure. And then she cried. She says, my mum died a couple of years ago. And I said, well, I think it might be her. And I think this is a gift from her to you. About 4 or 5 weeks later, I had a phone call, and I think we went to was it Bar Gonzales? And I think we sat there, and it wasn't a healing session. She just told me that she'd moved in with a friend. So she'd left the marriage home and she'd moved in with a friend. I didn't really know what was going on because we didn't talk about it, but I knew there was something very wrong and she'd lost all her power. So from that moment on, when she was wearing it, I would say that those weeks had gave her the strength to make the decision to say no more and move on. She wasn't angry. She was filled with love. She was filled with, there was no fear. So what her future was now without this person, it was like, wow, it was great to see, because I can understand when you're breaking free from a relationship that you've been so used to, whether it's toxic or beautiful, it's always a challenge because most people are frightened of the future. She didn't seem frightened of the future. Therefore, I would say that Cavansite helps you become stronger and trust in your future, even though you can't see what's to come. You would probably say to me, well, anything's better than being abused, but a lot of the times you don't know any different when you're in an abusive relationship. So it still can be traumatic. And when you love somebody as she loved her partner, she realized that she couldn't be with him anymore because she just couldn't cope with this constant yo-yo abuse. So Cavansite, I believe, played an amazing part in the transformation or the moment where her divine awakening began. So does Cavansite help you become more aware? I think it does. Does Cavansite help you become stronger, quicker, to move forward in the process of the experience? That's debatable. But what I saw was when Cavansite was on clients, I saw a quicker reaction to a more positive outcome. That's why I love Cavansite. It's one of the crystals that to me bring me great joy. I feel like I've got lungs that are so big that I can breathe for ages. Cavansite's amazing for meditation. It's amazing for relaxation. It's amazing when you want to attune to your spiritual path. When you're wearing Cavansite, you don't feel anger, you don't feel resentment, you don't feel fear. You feel the possibilities of anything really. And it's a good time when you want to reflect and you want to heal and you want to move forward. So I hope this little workshop serves you well. I hope you one day find yourself a piece of Cavansite and sit with it and work with it and see when you wear it, has it made a difference? To this day, I still believe Cavansite is the only crystal that I have worked with in my 20 years that I can say it is the crystal of forgiveness. That is my humble opinion, and I'll always stick with that unless I find something that is equal, if not more powerful than Cavansite. I haven't found it yet. So I hope this crystal serves you well. I hope you've enjoyed this little workshop on Cavansite. If you've never heard of it before, I'm glad that I've introduced you to it, and I hope I've served it well. I could talk about Cavansite for a couple of days. I could actually sit here and tell you story after story of what Cavansite did. All I've done is touch the surface of it. But you know, it's important that you actually work with it and then you tell me. Some of you may have heard of it. Some of you may have bought some. And if you have, share what you went through and share how you grew in a spiritual manner or a physical manner, because physically this crystal works tremendously on many parts of the body. It really does. Helps the eyes, it helps the mind chatter, helps you sleep better, it clears insomnia very well. It also is brilliant for chest issues. It's fantastic for heart issues as well, and it's brilliant for your nervous system. I could go on and on and on and on for what I've seen, the miracle of this great power energy that blasts constantly into your body all the time. But I think 30 minutes is enough. You get the picture, you know it's a great crystal. Support your local crystal store. I don't have so many as I used to do. I used to hold normally a couple of hundred. I'd always have a couple of hundred in the academy, but because it's harder and harder to get, I don't have that many. I showed you this collection, and I'll probably put some of these up on the website shortly. If not, they're probably already on there. So support your local crystal store, please. Go down to your local crystal store and support them. It's very hard to fake Cavansite, very hard. So normally you're okay, but don't hold me to that. Just make sure that when anybody tells you where Cavansite comes from, if they say anywhere other than Pune, India, then you know it's not Cavansite. Polished, I like polished because I can use it. The Cavansite doesn't flake or break. It's been polished, so I've got it, and it's a long-lasting crystal. When it's been left natural, it's so easy to crack or break this if you are somebody who works very hard and you're always on the go. So I would be very reluctant to buy this if you're banging around. So if you do buy one of these, stick them inside rather than leaving them out banging against things. So this one here, I like to wear it higher if I can. So this is quite high near my throat, and I'm always putting it inside so I don't break it. But you have to be aware that because it's such a fragile crystal, that it will chip, it will break. So yeah, enjoy it while it doesn't break. This one is perfect. So I enjoy it while it does, and if it does chip or break, no problem. The Cavansite is still working, and that's all that matters. So yeah, these are the things to be aware of. Sometimes Cavansite does change its colour. Some people say it's because of the sun, but I believe it changes because of your frequency, your energy. So depending, sometimes it can go even more vibrant, and sometimes it can lose its colour and go slightly more of a whiter and a duller colour, but it's still doing its job and it's still beautiful. I don't buy crystals because they look beautiful. I buy crystals because they do their work, and their frequency is of healing and strengthening, and that's what's important. So I hope you have a great day today. If you're in a situation where you're in pain, you feel betrayed, you feel let down, you feel like the world is against you, then maybe a Cavansite could just change your frequency, because remember, all it is an illusion. And the stronger and quicker you get back to your energetic frequency by clearing those low vibrations that were given to you or you've created, Cavansite is definitely one of the answers that can and definitely does make a difference in your life to bring you back to the most amazing you that you always were. Okay, thank you for going to Bajerski.com and buying your authentic crystals, oils and incense. I will now start on my pure energy healing tea, the protocol again, and hopefully tomorrow I'll try and keep my promise and we'll move on to the next crystal. Hope you enjoyed today. Take care, guys. Love you all. Bye for now.